Okay, and we're back. So, let me see, because we've had problems today. These problems are beginning to be really annoying. Share. Okay, so, right. Okay, I'm going to have to wait for people to come on, unfortunately, because, hey, we've got one person already. Unfortunately, we had some technical issues. My internet connection, although it was supposed to be good, just went. So I'm going to start again. Unfortunately, 20 past 2. So this has not gone according to plan. But we've got one person, so I will start. And everyone else can watch later. 2 people. So I will recap from... I'll try and summarize what we were just looking at before the connection error. In Unit 9, you get to look at houses and vocabulary to do with houses. If you look at number 1 over here, you've got a box of some words which are nouns whereby you can link the words to the places in the box over here. So to give you an idea, if we take a look at number 1, for example, number 1 would be a roof terrace. If we take a look at number 2, number 2 would be wooden floor, or wood floor. Number 3, let's see, can we find this? I cannot find what number 3 is. I'll have to come back to that later. Number 4, that's obviously a balcony. Number 5, that's going to be a basement. Number 3, sorry, that's the attic. Number 3, the attic. So 1, roof terrace. 2, wood floor. 3, the attic. 4, the balcony. Number 5, basement. Where's number 6? Number 6, obviously, that's the swimming pool. Number 7, that would just be back garden. Number 8, number 8 here looks like it's probably gas central heating. Number 9, well, that would be, where is it? That would be tiled floor. Number 10, that's the patio. And number 11, that would be the garage. And finally, number 12, that would be the open fire. So when we are looking to talk about places, our rooms, for example, or our house, we can use some words. So we've got words like, if you look in number 3 over here, here we go, number 3. In number 3, we can use the word bright, compact, central, convenient, and spacious. Now, bright, well, that just means you've got a large window and you have a lot of natural light coming in. And if that natural light comes in, it makes the room bright. So we can say it's lovely and bright in the summer, but we can use that for other areas of our house as well. Now, compact. Compact is not necessarily a positive in itself. You can say it's too tight, it's too compact. Or you can say it's nice and compact. Compact is when something is smaller and close together. So you might have a small bedroom, but it's nice and compact. So this means your bed, your wardrobe, your cupboards, they all fit and it's compact. It's not too compact, but it's compact. Um, a really good example at school, classroom number 4. Classroom number 4 is a compact room. It's not a big room. It's got you've got tables and chairs that can fit 10 to 12 people. And when there are 12 people in room 4, that is compact. Central. Well, obviously, this is when we're talking about a location of a house or of a school. Now, AM language is central, nicely. It's well located. It's in Sliema, so we can say it is central. The airport, for example, is not central. It's far from Sliema. For example, if you guys have ever flown to Tokyo, for example, I do know that you have the airport which is not central. It's far from the center of Tokyo. Same can be said for London, New York, and all the major cities as well. Then we have convenient. Convenient is effectively it's good, it's helpful. So if you are living in a big city and you live close to a train station, that is convenient. If you are living in the countryside and you need to get into the center of town and you don't have a car, that would be inconvenient. Just to help you with the pronunciation, you've got this spelling C-O-N. Now, you might think the pronunciation is convenient. It's not. It's more of a convenient, because the stress is on the V. Convenient, convenient. So stress is on the middle one, convenient. And finally, we then have spacious. Spacious is when there's a lot of room to move around in. So, for example, room 15 is spacious. Room 12 is quite spacious. Room 6 is that's spacious. Next, affordable. Again, you've got the ah here, but the pronunciation is not affordable. It's affordable, affordable. So the stress is on the f, affordable. Now, if something is affordable or very affordable, what we mean is that it is not too expensive. It's not too expensive. Now, I would say, I'm just going to turn some light on here because I've just realized that I don't have enough light in the room. That's better. Okay, so let me know in the comments below. Let me know in the comment section below if you think certain things in Malta, like food, like eating out, is affordable. My example would be in terms of food. I think South America is very affordable. I was actually Argentina. Malta, some places are affordable, not very affordable, but affordable. But then you do have some places that are not affordable. If anything, too expensive. Moving on, we then have shared apartment. Now, if you are watching from an apartment, especially if you're in one of AM languages apartments, you probably will be sharing an apartment, and that is what we called that's what we would call a shared apartment. Like the video if you are in a shared apartment. Newly built. Newly built, quite simply, is a new building. And most places in Malta are newly built because nothing in Malta lasts for very long. So, newly built. Now, this one is important. Cramped. Now, some of you in a shared apartment might find sometimes there's just not enough space. I think back to when I was at university, my first house at university. I stayed in a very, very small room, which was cramped. It was so cramped. There was the bed was almost too big for the room, but that's university life for you. Um, it's always going to be a little bit annoying. Um, and finally, run down. It's quite old and run down. Now, run down is when something looks old, things look maybe a bit dirty, things need to be fixed. Um, I can think of one apartment that was definitely run down. Um, I remember staying when I tried to learn Italian once, and I went to live in Florence, and the both places I stayed in were run down. The building needed repair. The repairs. The kitchen was a terrible, terrible. Was in a terrible state, and that is run down. But a neighborhood can also be run down as well. So that is some of the language that you would be looking at. Now, you've then got A to J. What you would need to do in this case would be match sentences 1 to 10 with A to J. And I invite you to leave your answers in the comments section over here or on Facebook later. Now, moving on, we can't do the listening, obviously, but there's a few things that uh, we can look at when, especially when trying to explain. So, can you all look over here for me? Okay, we're going to look at developing conversation. So, with developing conversations, we're going to try and look to how we can explain how big a place is. So we've got these terms. So, for example, it's about twice the size of this room. It's about twice the size of this room. My example would be if we take a look at classroom 4, and then we take a look at classroom, let's say classroom 6. Classroom 6 is about twice the size of classroom 4. If it's not about, we could also say it's nearly twice the size of classroom 4, for example. We then have something, it's a similar size to yours, or maybe a bit bigger. For this, we could use, let's look at countries, for example. If we take a look at Spain and France, for example, it's a similar size. So France, we could say Spain is a similar size to France, for example. So Spain is a similar size to France. Which one might be a bit bigger? I don't have a map in front of me, but I would say France. Maybe France is a bit bigger than Spain. Next, about the size of mine, it's about the same size as mine. So here we're talking about the garden. It's about the same. It's about the size of mine. It's about the same size, and that's what it simply means. We're saying that two things are about the same. Let's see. Someone just asked. Ah, hello, Izzy. Esgi, sorry, are spacious and cramped kind of the opposite? Yes, Esgi, that is very much the case. Spacious and cramped are very much opposites. Now, it does depend on the context, because a spacious room, if it has too many people, can still become cramped. So when we are going to use that word as an opposite, it would mean that um, if there are not many people, then the room is spacious. If there are too many people in the room, then it becomes cramped. Um, Again, we can also say that bigger rooms are usually more spacious. Um, so, for instance, I like a big spacious kitchen, for example. But if you put too many things in that kitchen, a spacious kitchen will become cramped. So, yes, that's a fantastic question. And most of the time, we would say spacious and cramped are very much are very much opposites. But context matters. So where was I? Yes, her garden's nice. It's about the same size of mine. It's about the same size as mine. Right. So quite simply, you're saying that there are two things and there are similar size. That's about it. Their bathroom is enormous. It's about from that wall over there to here. Okay, this is giving a very, what we would say, unclear description of the size of a place. So we're not using any exact measurements. We're trying to guess. So if we say it's about from that wall over there to here, it would be a bit like, again, if I take classrooms in AM, it'd be a bit like if I said, um, imagine we are in class 15, okay? And I try to explain how big classroom 4 would be. I would say it's about from the IWB, the board, to the door, for example. So that is when we're giving a rough idea of. Now, rough, by the way, I'll just type it in over here in the comment section. A rough idea. This is when we are guessing the size of something, for example. So, if you guys have any questions, please write in the comment section and I will do my best. It's a little bit difficult to try and explain all verbally, because when we talk about the size of something, it's easier to, if I had a board, to explain visually. But given the time, let's move over. Now, I do invite you to read over here and to try and complete some of the reading in your own time, because what I do want to spend a bit of time talking about is the grammar. Now, in this case, present perfect and present perfect continuous. Now, this can be a little bit difficult, but I will do my best to try and explain. And feel free again to ask any questions while I try to explain. So, as your intermediates, I know that you know about the present perfect. Now, it's important to remember when you use the present perfect, you are using it because you're talking about an action that started and has now finished. The present perfect continuous is talking about an action that has started and, importantly, may continue into the future. That is the main difference. So, for example, um, let's say John has worked at AM for 5 years. He started 5 years ago, and the action has now finished. Okay, it's coming to an end. I've worked here for 5 years. So when we use the present perfect, we are not saying that the action is going to continue into the future. We're just saying the action started in the past and has continued to the present in this case. If we say, John has been working at AM language for 5 years, we are choosing to use that because we want to tell the person that the action is likely to continue. Now, why would you choose to use one and not the other? Well, we can use it this way. And the working environment is a good example. So you go to your boss, and your boss asks you, how long have you worked here for? You could say, I have worked here for 5 years. You are choosing to use that because you want to concentrate on the fact that this action started 5 years ago and has worked up till now. You are not saying whether the action is going to continue in the future. This is because either you don't think the action is going to continue in the future, or it's not important to the conversation. However, if John asks you, how long have you been working here? And you answer, I have been working here for 5 years. We are choosing to use the present perfect continuous because we want to say that we expect the action to continue into the future. So there are the difference is important. But again, it depends what the focus of the conversation is. Like I said, if you just want to concentrate on how long the action has happened for, then it's the present perfect. If you want to concentrate on the idea that the action has started and will probably or maybe continue into the future, then we would use the present perfect continuous. So it depends what you want to say with the grammar. Now, in the example over here, you've got number 6. So property prices in China have been rising steadily for over a decade. Now, if we are saying property prices in China have been rising steadily for over a decade, we are saying that we think that they will continue to rise in the future as well. If we say over the last year, prices have increased sharply, we are saying that yes, the prices went up, but we are not saying if the prices will continue to go up. Letter C. I have seen one or two places on a scale. I have seen one or two places on sale with a discount. Now, in this case, we're just going to have to say, I have seen. Because if we look at the example, which two phrases show a period of time? No, two can both. No, one is no. Which of these two forms is used to show finished events before now? Number 4. So this would be number 4. The person went to look and they have finished looking. And because they went to look, they can say, okay, I have seen that there are two places on sale with the discount. I have seen. I have seen. The action has already finished, but they want to explain what they have seen. There is no expectation that they might see more places. So context matters. Like I said before, if you have any questions, please ask me in the live chat as it is now working. I do invite you to write some of your own examples as well and to see if you can try and to complete some of the exercises. Now, if we have a little look at some more examples. Okay. We could say, as an example, I don't want to, it's very tempting to use the coronavirus as an example at the moment, but I'm not going to use that. Let's go with prices again. So let's say you are looking to rent a property, and you spent the day going around looking for property to rent. At the end of the day, you come home and you tell your flatmate, I went round today and saw some interesting things. I have seen there are 3 properties that I can rent for 500 euros a month. I have seen. So in the day, your experience of the day, you have seen 3 places selling 3 different places for 500 euros. Now, if the prices are changing, some prices are going down, some prices are going up, then you would say, over the past week, I have seen, over the past week, prices, over the past week, prices have been increasing. It started off at 500 and now it is 700. So over the past week, prices have been increasing. So here, 1, you're giving a period of time, and this is something you will always need with a present perfect continuous. You need the period of time. With the present perfect, you do not need a period of time. Present perfect continuous, you need a period of time. I should also add, you cannot make a passive with the present perfect continuous. It's not possible. So please don't try and make a passive with the present perfect continuous. So 1, a period of time for present perfect continuous. 2, during that period of time, something has been changing. Either something has been continuing and you think it's going to continue to change. So just to recap, 1, present perfect, talking about an action that started in the past and has continued up until the present or relevant to the present. You are not saying if the action will continue though. You can use a time mark, you can use a period of time in there, but you don't have to. Present perfect continuous. You do need a time marker. You do need a period of time in there. And 2, if you're choosing to use the present perfect continuous, it's because you think the action, you're giving an idea that the action will continue in the future, or it might continue in the future as well. So please try and write your own examples and see if you can complete some of the exercises that you can find over here. Now, we have so far, on page 1, we looked at describing the home. We looked at some places. We looked at some places within a house, rooms. We looked at words like bright, compact, central, convenient, and spacious. And we've looked at the present perfect and the present perfect continuous, which are the most important things I wanted to look at today. But you will notice that I have not covered everything. And there is one exercise I have not looked at. So now that we've got the most important things out of the way, let's look at this. If you like, you can now turn to question 5. In question 5, you've got social issues, vocabulary for social issues. Oh, let's see. So someone's given an answer. 5, exercise 3. Okay, let's see. Someone wants to see. Okay, so exercise 3. Nadia, you have gone for 5A. So 5A, it's very spacious. It's the biggest place I've ever lived in by a long way. Okay, that's off to a good start, so well done. Number 2, 2 and B, it's nice and compact. I don't need that much space and it's easy to keep clean. Yes, I think that looks like a good idea. Number 3, it's very central. You have said, oh, sorry, 6C. 6C. Oh, I see. Sorry, I was going through numbers rather than letters. We'll do that. It makes more sense. My mistake. So letter C, I'm only paying 80 euros a week plus bills. You said 6C. Where's 6? The rent's very affordable. Yes, absolutely. That would be very affordable. And you've got only in there. So that automatically tells you that this is a great saving. That's a great one. D. You have, Nadia, you said D is, I'm getting confused. What have you said for D? I'm guessing 7 because you've put 7C, but I'm guessing maybe 7 was meant to be D. Lucky I get on okay with the 5 other students. Yes, that's correct. 7 and D would go together. E, I can walk into town in 10 minutes. This would have to be something related to, let's see, what have you put actually? I'm getting a bit lost here, E. You have said 3. Yes, very central. That is correct. So yes, E is central. E is central. F, I meant it's only a 2-bedroom flat and there's only 1 bedroom. Now you have said it's 9. It's quite cramped. Yes, well done again. Jolly good. G, and you've gone for 8. So it's great, and obviously I don't need to do any work on it. I live in a newly built apartment block. Well done. You're doing very well here, Nadia. H and 1. Its faces south, so we get a lot of sunlight. Well done again. Yes, that is correct. Number 10, you're saying I and 10 will need to do some work on it. It's quite old and run down. Well done. Excellent. And finally, you have said J with number 4. There's a station 5 minutes away. Yes, that is convenient. So Nadia, well done. You got 100% there. Bravo. Well done. Put a like on the video if you want to congratulate Nadia for getting 100% in exercise 3. So well done there. So let's go back to number 5 over here on page 82. Page 82. So you've got the task here to try and complete the sentences with these words and phrases. You've got climate change, cost of energy, house prices, immigration, crime rate, and divorce rate. So we've got number 1. The sharp rise in something is largely because of the economic problems in nearby countries. Number two, I heard the increase in the something is mainly due to conflicts going on in oil producing regions. Now, automatically, because you've got a fuel in here, we can probably think that we can probably guess it's going to be cost of energy. So before going on, I heard the increase in the cost of energy is mainly due to conflicts going on in oil producing countries. Sorry, I don't have water and my mouth is drying. Number three, the fact that couples work such long hours may have something to do with the high. Well, if we're talking about couples, this is going to be the divorce rate. So number three is divorce rate. Number four, something must have something to do with all this recent strange weather. We've got weather. There can only be one thing, and that's going to have to be climate change. Number five, the sharp fall in something has something to do with the fact that banks are lending less money. Of course, this is going to be house prices. So number five is going to be house prices. Number six, the is going down due to better policing. Well, we've got police, so we know number six is going to be crime, which means number one must be immigration because it's the only one we haven't looked at. Okay. Now, what I can say is over here, I'm going to give you some examples at this point. I'm going to try and bring everything we have looked at so far together, and I'm going to talk about some more personal examples to help give you an idea of a context. I would ask that if you guys would like to post any writing, maybe on our social media pages, such as Facebook, I think that would be a good idea. Feel free to post for all you know, you might want to post number 7 on there, for example. Actually, before I give a personal example, I was just looking at 7. There's some really good language here. You've got these words. So write sentences about trends using the prompts below and a word from each box. I should explain. If you look at trends, so here we're looking at number 7 here. A trend is the direction of something to do with maybe in industries or society, for example. It's what's becoming popular or unpopular. So, for example, if I were to think of a trend that everyone will understand, let's go with music, for example, for a moment. There is a trend, a growing trend of listening to, what's his name? Ed Sheeran. There's a growing trend of listening to Ed Sheeran's music so much that any song he comes out with, you eventually never want to hear the song again. Now, this is just me talking here, but if I hear the song Perfect one more time, I don't know what I'm going to do. Every single time Ed Sheeran comes out with a new song, there's the trend to just play it and play it and play it. And at the end of it, I don't want to ever hear the song again, to be honest with you. If I were to give an example back to housing, now this is a really interesting one. Shipping crates. So picture a shipping crate. Now, if you don't follow, the big metal boxes on the big ships that are used to transport different goods. And that's what we would call a shipping crate. Now, there's a growing trend in places like Australia, America, New Zealand, um, of taking old shipping crates and turning them into houses. And this is something I find really interesting. Um, because you see people, young people, getting just two shipping crates, and with these two shipping crates, which look, they don't look spacious. You think maybe this will be a bit cramped, and all of a sudden, they turn these um, these shipping crates into homes, um, houses, and okay, it's not a castle, but they look really good and very affordable. Um, I was I'll see if I can actually add maybe a link in the description in terms of what I'm talking about after this video. But it's amazing to see what um, like the architects, like they don't have a lot of space to work with. It looks quite cramped, but they do something fantastic, and all of a sudden these small shipping crates become very spacious, and this is a growing trend. So that would be another example. But to look at the language in number 7, you've got the following. So you've got population, 57 to 60 million, 10 years. Now, automatically, if I hear 60 million and population, I think roughly the UK. That's the size, that's the population of the United Kingdom. Here it says, the population has been rising gradually over the last 10 years. You've got fall, go down. Notice fall, go down, the rise, and go up. So, first of all, my hand was trying to show you when we would use this language. So at the moment, the stock market, it's not just going down, it's falling. Going down is something more, well, this is gradual. Okay, so going down is gradual. Fall is sharp. And it's the same with rise. So you can see a gradual rise, a gradual rise. Yes, Choi. Yes, that looks right to me. The sharper the fall, the sharper it is, the more of a fall it is. The sharper the rise, the more it goes up. And that's the way to look at it, as a basic introduction to this terminology. But then we have these adverbs. Now, these adverbs, gradually, slightly, and dramatically, and a lot. Now, gradually, as I've shown you, yes, Choi, fall, go down, rise, go up. Excellent. Yes, I think that's a good starting point. If other people look at Choi in the live comments section, she's given a very good example with some arrows of what I was trying to explain. Now, having said that, adverbs make a really, really big difference. So, gradually, as I've shown you, is this. Slightly is now, let me show you this. If I'm going to go from one corner, if this is gradual, slightly is slightly, well, it's different. It's not gradual, it's just a little bit at a time. That's the way to think of it. Slightly is a little bit at a time. Gradual is something consistent, but going in the same direction. Dramatically, this is an important one. Dramatically is when there's something big. So if we want to say go down or go up, for example, what we can do is we can use the term dramatically. So dramatically fall, dramatically go up. And if we don't want to use fall or go up, we can use rise. Dramatically, would we say dramatically rise? No, we wouldn't actually. There's a dramatic, no, increase. There's a dramatic increase, yes. Dramatically rise? No, it doesn't even sound right. Dramatically rise, gradually rise, dramatically go up. Yes, so I was right before. You see, this is what happens. Sometimes you can confuse yourself in the process. So dramatically go up or dramatically fall. Gradually rise, gradually go, gradually go. So I'll start again. Gradually fall, gradually rise. Dramatically go up, dramatically go down. There, I got there in the end. So we then have questions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Troy, is it the same thing, rise and increase? Yes, rise and increase are the same thing. The difference is we would say gradually rise. You can say gradually increase, but you can also say dramatically increase or dramatically increased. Increase is a little bit more flexible. Let's put it that way. I am thinking off the top of my head here. But when I think about it, yes, increase, gradually increase, dramatically increase. Why am I thinking that more in the past? It dramatically increased. Yes, we would use that. That's true. So context makes a bit of a difference. So, for example, if we look at number 1, the crime rate 200. Thanks. Okay. Well, Troy, thank you very much. I hope I didn't confuse anyone there. If I did, I do apologize. Again, it's always easier to try and explain these things if I have a board. This is the first time I've actually tried to explain this language without a board. I think I could have done a better job. In future, I will make sure I do a better job at trying to explain this without a board. So then you've got 1 to 6 over here. And here we've got like the crime rate, 250,000 to 170,000 over 20 years. Is this a big increase? Well, it's not. I don't think it's massive, really. So here we could say the crime rate has. I keep on wanting to use a present perfect, and I'm going to use a present perfect for this. The crime rate has gradually fallen from 250,000 to 120,000 over 20 years. So that could be your answer for number 1. I'll write that actually in the comment section so you can see what I'm trying to say. So the crime rate has gradually fallen from 250,000 to 170,000 over the past 20 years. Okay, and that fits in nicely. That fits in with present perfect that we were looking at, and that shows you how we can use it. Notice something here. Okay, when you choose to use the adverb, we've got has or have plus the adverb plus the past participle. So you put the adverb in between the two. Okay, so if we look at number 2, for example, unemployment 8% to 15% over the course of 2 years. Now, that's quite a big jump in 2 years. So in this case, we can probably go with, let's see, what would we use? Okay, we could use has gone up. So unemployment has dramatically gone up into from 8% to 15% in 2 years. So for number 2, I will give you my own personal example as well. So unemployment has dramatically, yes, go up. But in this case, we're going to use a present perfect. And I would encourage you to use a present perfect when talking about trends, actually. So unemployment has dramatically gone up from 8% to 15% in 2 years. Okay, good. And so that is my example. That would be my answer for question number 2. Again, notice I'm choosing to use the present perfect here. Now, some of you might be asking, can I use the present perfect continuous? Am I right? I'm going to assume I'm right. For this, we would have to find an example where we think the action is likely to continue. Let's see. Can I find one? Petrol prices up $1 a liter, 2 months. The average wage up by $2. We would have to probably change some things to use the present perfect continuous, but just to give you an idea, it would have to read something like over the past 2 months, petrol prices have been gradually over the past 2 months, petrol prices have been gradually rising. Over the past 2 months, petrol prices have been gradually rising. No, over the past 2 months, petrol prices have been gradually rising. Yes. Now that's a point. If we're going to use, gosh, this is a strange sentence. The more I think about it, the more I think it is rather strange. Over the past 2 months, petrol prices have been gradually I'm going to change this to increasing. This is just something personal to do with choice of language. Over the past 2 months, petrol prices have been gradually increasing. Maybe the first one, because is similar with the example. I see what you're suggesting here, Nadia, but again, we'd have to change the language a little bit. We would have to introduce some things. Maybe we could say the crime rate has been gradually decreasing over the past 20. Oh, yeah, actually, come to think of it. Yes, I'm using different language though. Instead of fallen, I'm using decreasing, because fall and you've got fall and decrease. For example, and this is something we could say. So yeah, let's see if we can turn this into a present perfect continuous. The crime rate has been gradually decreasing over the past 25 years from 250,000 to 170,000. So yes, you can do it. Actually, Nadia, well done. Yes, you can use it. You can use it. But we have to change one or two things here because context matters. And don't forget, if we're going to use the present perfect continuous, we are indicating that that number is likely to decrease in this case. Okay, so that takes us to 54 minutes. And what I will say is, if you guys can leave some examples either in the comment section or on Facebook, that would be great. And I will do my very best to look at them, and I will try and get back to you to tell you if yes, that's correct, or no, that's not quite right. What I would say is something that I told the pre-intermediate lot this morning. Do not worry about making mistakes. Mistakes are good. The more mistakes you make, the better the more opportunity you have to for teachers actually to help guide you and help mentor you. Now, I know that when you guys come back, you might be worried about the level test, for example, that you will have. I should tell you that you don't worry too much about whether you're going to pass or not. If you get worried about I need to pass, you might forget about doing the work that you need to do to pass. But to help you during this period where unfortunately we are on lockdown, you can still develop your speaking and you can still develop your writing. With speaking, what you can do is take the topic today, trying to talk about houses, or maybe you like to follow the rise and fall of prices to do with houses, or maybe something not to do with houses. Maybe you actually just want to look at the rise and fall of the current situation with the coronavirus, for example. But my point is, record yourself talking about the same topic every day for 5 days in a row. So today, record yourself, maybe talking for 1 or 2 minutes about a topic where you get to use this language. Listen back listen to yourself afterwards and make notes of things that you think you could have said differently, or maybe you can hear your own mistakes. And you continue the process Monday, Tuesday, all the way through to Friday. And then listen to the whole week and see if you can see if you can hear the difference in the way you speak. And it's the same with writing. So you do the same bit of writing again and again and again. And you have to be very, what I would say, try and think like a teacher about yourself. You can use this opportunity to really learn how to teach yourself English when you don't have a teacher present to help you. So there's an opportunity here, and I invite you to try and take I invite you to take advantage of that opportunity. Regarding the lesson, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. This is my first time actually doing this live. In the past, whenever I've tried to make videos, I've had the opportunity to record, listen, and think maybe I could do this, maybe I should have done that. So when you're live without a board, things can be a little bit more difficult. So if I have confused anyone in the process, I do apologize, but please feel free to ask questions, and I will do my best to try and answer them. In the meantime, you can find on our Facebook page when the next lessons are going to happen. I will be doing another intermediate one later on this week. I can't remember what I posted actually, but you can find all the information on our Facebook page. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell as well, so you know whenever we're going live. I will be doing 2 live videos a day during this week. And on top of that, if I notice anything particularly good, I'll try and add something extra as well. So thank you very much. Have a good afternoon. I hope all of you are safe and well. I will see you all next time. Have a very good afternoon and take care of yourselves. Thank you very much.